Okay, it's red. Are we live? Wait, why is it? I don't see anyone.
Oh, okay, it's red.
Ooh, ow, 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 ow. Are we live? Wait, why is it? I don't see anyone.
Oh, okay, it's red.
Ooh, ow, ow, ow. Oh. Okay. Why is it not showing our faces? Hold up. Oh, wait.
It
Oh,
happened last time
there we
too.
go.
There was no faces. It was just black.
Is it? I don't see. Wait. Jeez, what is up with this thing?
Oh, I see your picture now.
Yeah, you see my picture, but I'm trying to figure out how to put your face in Dave's. Should I like invite people? Is that?
No, well, I think there's a camera option where it shows it can just stay on one person and then you switch it over to the other people, or you can turn it to whatever the other setting is called.
Okay.
I forget what it's called though. I've never actually done my own Hangouts.
Yeah.
Actually, one time I did, but I didn't really know what I was doing. But I've done it so many other times with other people trying to figure it out. I could pretty much figure most of it out.
What is this? Presenting broski. Okay. Show participants. Okay, I'm gonna invite you guys. I think that's how it works. I don't know. How did we do it last time? It didn't work last time. I don't know. Wait a minute. Oh, crap.
Yeah, I have no clue, so I can't help.
You need that kid to tell you what to do.
Yeah, I need the kid. I need that kid.
Where are the 9-year-olds?
Okay.
I just shared it on my channel.
So yeah, I see it on your channel.
Here.
Where is it? How do I do it? Show me. I don't want to. I don't want to like show a video and then I don't want to get copyrighted or something like that.
Oh, okay. Hey, there it is.
Links? Is that where you go? How do I invite people? Jeez, I forget.
So you're the only one on here right now, huh?
Like
you could always trim this like dead air afterwards too on your live stream.
Oh wait, here it is. Let me see if I want. Let's see, can I do this? Oh, can you guys see your faces? Like I think I fixed it.
Let me upload it or reload it.
There we go. I fixed it.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
I see me now.
Yeah.
Hello?
Is it just me?
It's like you, Dave, and me.
Nice. I think we got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Let me just put my phone on charge. Okay, y'all ready?
Yep.
All right, let's get things started. Welcome, everybody. My name is Broski. You may call me Anthony. And here I have is Logan Blake, personal trainer. And I have Dave over here.
What's up?
All right, and we're going to be having a discussion about raw foods.
Yes, indeed. So we actually, before we get to raw foods, I think the first order here was to talk about this new vegetable police fiasco going on right now.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote something about it down here. Oh yeah. So vegetable police is on the carnivore diet now, and that, for people who don't know what the carnivore diet is, it's just basically, I don't know, is it raw meat or is that the one that's cooked meat? Which one is he on?
Doing cooked meat right now.
Cooked
I
meat.
don't think he's eating raw meat. He might be though. He might be, but the carnivore diet itself is just meat. It doesn't need to be raw or cooked. It can be either. It's just meat. Yeah.
So he's eating the Dr. Sean Baker nothing but steaks and pork diet?
I guess, yeah.
Well, that's a little crazy. I don't know why he would choose that one.
Right? I don't know. He flip-flops so much though. So like I don't know when he's gonna do this and then when he's gonna decide, 2 weeks from now, like, this isn't working, you know? But I mean the first thing he was probably doing before he told anyone was like eating eggs and stuff. Because he kind of mentioned that in one of his videos. So I bet he was doing that for a while, honestly. And then but he's also, I noticed, one of the things I noticed that he's so into like if he tries something, when he gets too skinny, he doesn't want to do that. Or like he's very like basing things off vanity a little bit too. It's like, my skin broke out, so I don't want to eat this way. So that's something I'm noticing with him too, but I don't know. Yeah. I didn't expect him to do this, honestly.
Yeah, it's weird because like I'll eat almost anything you could think of that's vegan, and like I don't have skin issues or anything like that. Like I don't have big breakouts or anything. Like if it's like extreme heat or something, like once in a while I'll get like kind of like a heat rash if I on my backpack area or something. But that's not from my food, obviously. That's from just like rubbing of my backpack or something. But yeah, I never had anything like that. But it's really hard to tell just from anybody on YouTube what they're actually doing in their real life, because they could just be making up everything. Like who knows what he's
doing. Exactly. Yeah. No. I mean, have you been watching his videos like pretty consistently?
I used to watch his videos a lot. Like the funniest thing is when I first started making vegan videos, right? Like everybody kind of just starts watching the main channels like Vegan Gains and stuff like that. And then I saw a video in the sidebar of this guy calling out Vegan Gains for push-ups, right? And it was Vegetable Police. I didn't know that he was a vegan. I just thought he was some like jerk off on YouTube going, Vegan Gains, you suck. You can't do push-ups and whatever. And so I was like, like coming to Vegan's defense, I was like, screw this guy. I was like, I made a call out video and I'm like, I could do more push-ups than you and all this stuff. And so I made a response video thinking that this guy was just some like jerk off meat eater. And then people were leaving comments being like, it was a joke. This guy's a vegan. And then I started watching his channel. And then he made this video about like, he debunked like a paleo book. And it was like the funniest video like I ever saw. So I subscribed. But then when he moved to Thailand, then I kind of stopped watching his videos. They kind of got boring.
Yeah, I like when he was doing the green screen stuff. That was the best. When he'd like do 2 of him or something, and then he'd do all like the funny green screen stuff. But what I was gonna say though, for a while, like he did the high fat diet back in Canada, and then he just recently did it again. So he's always kind of been into like, I'm gonna try the high fat, I'm gonna try the high carb, and so he's always been like kind of liking the high fat more. I just never expected him to do the meat thing, honestly. So I don't know.
So I think he's like a troll. I just think he's a troll. Yeah. Just like
I don't think he's real at all.
I think he's doing the same thing as Unnatural Vegan, and Vegan Cheetah, and like if you look at like Vegan Gains or all these other people, they all do like some form of trolling, but like some people just take it too far. Right, when because he made the Nazi shirts, right?
What? He made what?
Oh, that was funny. Yeah.
He did Nazi shirts. He did. He bought a fur coat. Did you see that too?
The goose one or whatever. Yeah.
So he's done tons of stuff in the past too. He even made like this is the weirdest thing too, because like it seems now that he doesn't care about ethics, right? Because he's just like it's all about me. He's making jokes about like a chicken. He's like, who cares about the chicken and whatever. And but then he made all these songs too, like for the animals and Meat Eaters diss track. And then he made a whole video saying like, this is a call out to all vegans. You guys need to stop having meat ads on your videos. Take them all down and all this stuff. So he's all over the place. He's ethical one day, then he's not the next day. And I don't know what the hell he's doing, but it just seems all like trolling.
Yeah. There's a lot of non-vegans that watch his channel too that's kind of gained too since he's been doing like Thailand stuff. People have been finding his channel and stuff. So, and a lot of the carnivore type people watch him because he's made so many sparage videos. So like they know who he is from that. So that's how he gained a lot of followers too. So if you read some of the comments under his last couple of videos, they're all like, finally, you're coming to the meat side. And like, you know, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of expected it in a weird way.
Yeah, the thumbs up ratio was on the video where he said, I'm going to go on the carnivore diet. It was, I put it down here. I wrote it down, 1,000.8 thumbs ups and only 300 thumbs down. So that's how many vegan subscribers he's got, is like, you know, 300 that care enough to thumbs down it, and then all this support for eating meat. So that's crazy to me. I thought it was the opposite.
Yeah, and I mean, I know he was never an ethical vegan to start with. He was doing it for his health. But I mean, that's how I started too. And then it was just like, oh yeah, I don't want to kill animals or be a part of, like, it's easy to see like if I can be healthy without it. But I think he's just super very like, what's that word? Not like hypochondriac, but kind of, where he's just like everything needs to be perfect. If he doesn't feel perfect all the time, you know what I mean? Then there must be something wrong. If he has one bad day, or like like I said, his skin breaks out, I don't know. So I don't know.
Like he's like an OCD hypochondriac type of guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I gained, because he's always like trying crazy things, and he wants to feel perfect all the time. It's like sometimes you feel bad one day, like no matter what diet you're on, you know what I mean? You're gonna have low energy one day, or your skin's gonna be bad. Like, you know, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But I would never be like, you know, hey everybody, I'm gonna go eat meat, and do it as like a troll or something, right? And if it was like in the video, I would have to eat like fake meat, and it would just be pure like clickbait or something, right? And like, because first of all, I wouldn't want to, but like just to go as far as to like for that to get views, it just seems like way out there for me. And like just my personality, I'm thinking to myself that people would just know that I'm just lying, you know, because like I wouldn't be that good of a liar to be like, hey guys, I'm going on the carnivore diet. Like people would just laugh and be like, yeah, get out of here. Right. Or not, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just wondering like when he's going to make the first video like of him eating meat, because that one might get more dislikes. Like when he actually does, or any animal products, like, and I'm wondering if he's going to start eating like raw milk, or like, I don't know how far he's going to like take it, if he's really going to like embrace it, or if it's just going to be another 2-week little, oh, I tried it, now I feel like crap again or something. I don't know.
Yeah, watch him like pause the video and let him like throw up after he like drinks raw milk.
Right? It's like, I don't know. It's just, to me now, even eating meat is just like it doesn't sound good. Like I'm staying with my parents right now, and they cook, like they'll barbecue stuff or like make burgers and stuff. And like one thing I admit, like the smell always kind of smells like okay. Like if you smell bacon frying up.
Oh, like I'm so used to the smell, dude. Like
it smells like, oh yeah, kind of good, but it's like it doesn't make me hungry. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me.
Yeah, me neither. It doesn't make me hungry either.
Yeah, like so I don't know, like how after 10 years you can just eat a steak. Like I thought like that would make you sick in the first place. You know what I mean? Like your bacteria in your gut's not the same as when you were eating meat. So it's like you might actually get like sick.
You are gonna get sick. Like once you go back to your old diet, it's like you have no idea what's gonna come to you. So.
Yeah, I mean when I first went vegan, I mean you always have those hiccups. Like the first year, I remember I went like 3 months, and then I had like a slide back because I wasn't like doing it for ethics yet. So I went out and I ate a bunch of like meat and dairy and everything I used to. And dude, I was sick for like 3 days, and that was only for like the first like 3 or 4 months. So like I don't know how you can do it for 10 years and just go back and like, oh, I feel better now, and like I don't know.
Yeah,
it is weird.
Yeah, like when I went vegan, I was kind of like, you know, I kind of like slowly, like I went like I was eating less meat, and then pescatarian, and then vegetarian, then semi-vegan, then full vegan.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about like his theory though? He's like, oh, like he's saying what all those guys are like, oh, the fiber isn't good for me, and the fiber is what's hurting my colitis. It's like that's what I'm wondering. It's like, dude, like it's been proven that like high fiber has been in our diets since we like evolved or whatever, or since we started out eating as a species. So it's like, I don't know, like, why would you be an exception to the rule that fiber is like gonna kill you? You know what I mean?
I mean,
so,
you need fiber so you can like freaking what, poop well? I mean, what do you want to poop out of
like
rock?
so he actually could be right about like say like his stomach disorder, like fiber might not be good for it, right? So there is, I've already had discussions with a person with Crohn's. You know that actually I haven't spoke with the guy, but we made response videos back and forth. That guy's cognitive thought. He's got Crohn's disease, and so when you have Crohn's disease, high fiber is really bad for your stomach. And then what's the other one? Gastroparesis.
Yeah.
Some lady we were just talking to has gastroparesis. So his symptoms or his disease, whatever it is probably similar. So like it's not that fiber is bad. It's like the guy's already screwed up his gut, not from being on a vegan diet or a raw food diet or whatever. He was on like an American diet and killed his stomach, and then now fiber may be bad for him because he's destroyed it with these harmful foods. And that doesn't mean fiber is bad for you. That means fiber is bad for the disease that you have. So for all the rest of the population, they can have fiber. You and these select other people might not do well with high fiber. So you could still have a vegan diet, but just lower the fiber. And you could have like canned foods. You could juice your foods. You could have, some processed, like refined types of things without fiber in it. And it still would be better than high amounts of cholesterol and saturated fats and all these other things.
Yeah, I agree with you on the fact that, it's not the fiber. It's like the fact that he is sick. That's what's causing the fiber, or that's why the fiber is causing the problems. And it's weird because he knows about all this stuff too, because he went down the whole, like, okay, I got to heal by eating like fruits and juices and the raw foods. And he fixed himself so much. So it's just weird to see him kind of like slide back and start think differently about it. I don't know. To me, it's weird, but I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do, but I don't know.
Yeah. I remember seeing a video before he went to Thailand. Before he went to Thailand, he made a video where he was debunking sparinge, and he said, at the end of the video, he said, like, it was really weird to me. He was like, I don't know, like maybe maybe one day I might try this raw meat diet or whatever. And
I feel like he's
trolling and all this stuff. And I was like, what? Is he joking? I couldn't tell if he was joking, but I thought that was like super strange. And he was, telling the truth. It was like a hint for the future. I don't know what video it was, but it was a sparinge video from like a long time ago, from like a year ago or something. And then he was telling his mom to eat raw meat, or not raw meat, but he was telling his mom to eat more meat in the past couple weeks or something too. So that was a hint for the future as well.
Yeah. No, I think it was always on his mind. Like for some reason, I don't know if he wants to eat meat, because he says in his videos, "Oh, I want to be vegan and stuff." So I don't know if he actually wants to eat meat, and it just like took this long for him to finally like make it so he can come out in this way, like, "Oh, I'm gonna heal myself," and that's what I'm doing. Or because like, yeah, I mean, I moved here with my family, and my mom has been vegan pretty much, and all of her problems are getting better. Like everything is getting better, and it's only been like 2 months. So, I mean, I know that he said his mom couldn't do it, but it's like, why wouldn't you tell your mom to eat less meat and more vegetables and still have, like, I don't get the whole just go keto. Like, I don't know. It's a short-term fix to me. That's what I feel.
Short-term. Yeah. So Broski knows about like, the going to the gym and all that type of stuff, like bodybuilding. So if I, like my clients, I don't tell them, hey, go vegan, like right away.
No, like
right?
not exactly, unless it like vegan curious.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of them like
if you tell someone like, hey, like if some person comes up to you and says like, yo man, like what do you eat? I'll be like, yeah, I'm vegan, and they'll be like, oh, okay, and they might probably ask like, oh, like they might try it, and you know, I'll give them a list like what protein they intake, but it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So most people like who will come to me, like 99% of my clients are women, and
oh wow,
their initial goal is to lose weight, and that's mostly what you'll get for personal training. And then once they lose weight, everybody will just say get in shape, right? And what they mean is lose weight.
I don't like the word when they say like get in shape,
muscle.
because I'm just like, you don't know like what kind of diet it's gonna like, you know, fuck you up. But it's like the vegan diet's like definitely gonna help you out. That's why I always tell people.
Yeah. So what I'll tell them though is I'll say you can eat as much raw fruits and vegetables as you want. Like stuff your face with raw fruits and vegetables, because then you're not eating other garbage, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll tell them like if you are gonna eat some sort of like meat, I'll tell them like you don't need protein shakes, right? So I'll say I'll convince them like it's a gimmick, because it is, right? That you don't need this stuff. It's just
bull crap.
Selling tactics by these supplement companies saying you need protein. And then true. I'll say, if you are going to have meat, have something lean like tuna or tilapia or something, right? Yeah. And then have egg whites, like just buy the whites. And then I'll like later on, I'll just say, you don't even need that stuff, and just kind of say, you just eat the fruits and vegetables and have some potatoes or something else instead of the egg whites, and I'll just try to get them to eliminate those eventually. Yeah. But you're not just going to tell somebody go vegan, right?
No,
because then they'll be like,
that doesn't work.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so did you guys see? There was a comment. Foot Soldier made a video about vegetable police. That Goji man made a video about it. A whole bunch of other people made videos about him. But like Joey Carbstrong was in the comments, like all disappointed in vegetable police, saying, he's not in it for the animals, he's selfish, he's all this stuff. And there was this guy that I made a video about a long time ago, one of these I'm not vegan anymore guys. His name's The Roar Within. Have you ever seen that guy?
I actually just saw him today, I think, like in the comments.
Yeah. So I made a video about this guy a long time ago. He had this really small channel, and it was a vegan channel. Nobody watched his channel, so he hopped on the bandwagon. I'm not vegan anymore. Everybody was making those videos, and he got like 74,000 views or something in like a day. And so then I made a response video saying, how much of a moron he was, and because he was saying I'm going to eat lobster or crab or some crap or whatever. And I don't know if he ever did, but then 2 days later he made a video saying I'm going back to veganism, and then just changed all his, because nobody cared after a while that he wasn't vegan anymore. So then he was just like, oh, the clickbait is over, now I'm going back to veganism. And then now the vegetable police is getting all these views for the carnivore diet. Now he's like, I'm eating my first burger today, and I'm going on the carnivore diet just like you. Stuff. So now he's got videos out. So it's just crazy. The YouTube is crazy. Crazy clickbaiters out there.
YouTube is broken.
I don't know if these people have just been eating meat the whole time and they're just fooling everybody, or what.
They're just fooling everyone. It's like, hey, I'm vegan, but really it's like they eat like after the video they just eat a little piece of chicken.
Yeah, right. Here's my green juice, and then they're like burger right after.
Yeah.
No, the thing that actually does make me mad is all these like ex-vegan videos that are coming out. Like I was thinking about, we should make like ex-meat eater videos in the same form. And there's so many people, that tens of thousands more, that have gotten better on vegan, especially raw food diet, like brain cancer and stuff. There's like videos out there, people healing themselves with like all these like really intense things with like fruits and vegetables. And it's just making me mad because I think these are the videos that like, vegetable police watched. And then he's like, oh man, like maybe this, what I was saying earlier before we went live, like this is right actually, like I've been wrong for 10 years. And then you get that kind of fear and you want to try something different. And with all these people making these ex-vegan videos, oh, now I feel so much better. He's kind of like, he just wants to be healthy. So he's like latching on to any like false hope that there is of like meat's going to help me. You know what I mean? So that's what I think is happening. Because it's putting it in his head like, oh, veganism, I tried it. It's not working. It doesn't work for everyone, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's mostly
like,
what every vegan video is, though. Like, if you go to any vegan channel, it's like, oh, I used to eat meat. I was a pile of shit back then, and now I don't.
It's like,
Right?
you traitor. How could you?
It's hard to find, like, say, an ex-primal dieter or an ex-carnivore dieter or something to be like, to go vegan. Like, it's, I haven't seen one of those people go vegan yet. I can't
Wait, which one?
Like somebody who's on the sparinge diet, who then goes vegan after the sparinge diet. Because I think if you're on the sparinge diet, you pretty much lost your mind.
Yeah, and you think veganism's a government conspiracy and everything. So like that's if you think that, you're like never gonna. There's no turning back now. You're gonna literally be eating You're gonna go around to people's houses and try to steal their cats to eat. Like you know what I mean? Like you're gonna do anything but veganism at that point. So I don't know. My brother, one of my older brothers, was on paleo, and he was a marathon runner, and he had a heart attack. Like, and he thought he was on like a healthy diet. Everyone's like, "Oh, you look good, you look healthy." So I tried to talk to him, but he wasn't even that far. You know, he was still eating vegetables and stuff. But he still doesn't believe. I've been vegan for 6 years, he still doesn't believe that like you can be healthy without meat. So it's hard to convince some people who are even like open to listening to you, you know?
Yeah, it's really hard. That's what I was like trying to help people out, like especially like my family and friends, helping them convince to like, you know, go vegan. But they at least try. They eat like less meat.
Did you have a heart attack while running?
Yeah, dude. It was like he did half marathons, and I think it might have been his first or second full marathon. And like mile, like I don't know, it was like 17 or 18 or something. He just like fell down, and then like they rushed him to the hospital and everything. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. And he was 42 when it happened. So not too. I mean, that's young if you're healthy. You know what I mean? Like 42. What, you're like 30 something or whatever. So it's like, I don't know, like 42 having a heart attack. That's just crazy to me. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a common thing for runners who are meat eaters to have a heart attack while running. Like my wife was at Grandma's marathon last year, and she said there was a guy who had a heart attack in the middle of the marathon. The ambulance got him. They checked him out, all this stuff. They're like, "Oh, you just had a minor heart attack." And the guy finished the race. He's like, "I'm gonna go finish the race," and then he went to the hospital. It's like, what the hell?
That's pretty crazy. Oh man. I mean, dedication, I guess, right?
Yeah, but that's a real common thing for like people to have a heart attack while running. My dad had a heart attack, but he also like he'll eat like cheese whiz sandwiches, right? Like all day, and then like smoke big cigars and drink rum and cokes and stuff like that too. So all those things combined, is recipe for disaster.
Yeah, you think like when they're running though, it's just like because the blood's too much, it's like pumping too much, or like in their arteries or whatever, like they're not wide enough, so it's just like too much blood trying to pump from their heart, and that's why they do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's like a group of runners that went to the old gym that I used to go to, and they were all doctors, and they would all run together in this big group, and they all thought that they were in good health because like they would all run and they're doctors and know everything about health. But one of the guys had a heart attack, and they were like all stumped the next day, going, "How did he have a heart attack? I can't believe it. He was such a good runner." It's like running has nothing to do with how great your blood vessels are. Like they could be clogged up.
Yeah.
And running's not going to clean them out. It's not like a toothbrush going to be like and knock off the plaque. You're just gonna have a harder time running because your arteries are smaller and smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you want to talk about some raw food stuff now that we've pretty much
we're like how many minutes? Let me see.
Oh, you got time left still?
Yeah, like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing I wanted to say about vegetable police. So like my whole thing is like his gut issues, and it's like what's about his colon health too, because colon health is super important. So like what, he's just gonna eat all the meat now, get constipated? Like I don't know. It's just, to me, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens? I don't know. I don't want him to get sick, but it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
If these people get sick too, I guarantee they'll just lie about it too. Like milk jar, right? When's the last time you seen a milk jar video? You know, how do you know this guy's not in the hospital for the past 2 months?
Right?
I haven't
Yeah,
heard
never
from
seen
Milk Jar
that.
in a while. Jeez. Like,
Yeah. So where's he been? He's probably all messed up. His last video he made, he ate a whole bunch of raw cow brains and stuff, and then now he's MIA for 2 months. You never
Oh, no.
you never know what's going on with these people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to talk like about raw foods, like specifics or like what's up?
Well, first I had a question because I think I talked to you about this just in a comment or something about somebody was telling me Dr. Robert Morse recommends people have meat tinctures or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, what the hell is that?
Okay, so there's these things called glandulars, and what they do is it isn't vegan, but what they do is they extract like tissue from the specific organ. So let's say the adrenal gland or the thyroid or something like that. And it's been proven that when people take these, our bodies don't think about it as and like you can disagree with me. They've done studies and stuff on it, but your body doesn't know that it's not like that it's from a cow or whatever. And so when you get this, like, let's say your adrenal glands are weak, you get this adrenal like tissue from a cow, your body actually takes it on, it makes your adrenals stronger. So for a short period of time, let's say you have chronic fatigue or something, you can take one of these things and it will actually like make you feel better. So it's almost like you're kind of like taking a something to like kind of mask the symptoms for a little while until your body is healthy enough to run on its own. So yes, he does like sell them on his site, but he also only recommends it in like super severe cases that like you can't function or whatever. But he also says like you can always just do it with diet and herbs, so you don't need to take them. But I mean, the way that he does it, he's all about regeneration, and he's not like super vegan guy, but like he's a plant-based kind of person. So I don't know. I don't think they're necessary, but I think they can help people that really need them. And I mean, it's definitely not vegan though. So, but it's not like he's out there pushing like people. He's pushing an all fruit diet, eat fruits, green juices. So it's like he's pushing the raw foods, and then he has like these supplements that aren't even his. He just sells them from like another website or whatever, and says, "Hey, this is where you can get this stuff if you need it." So, yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of his videos, right? Like I've watched maybe about an hour total of, and then every one of his videos is over an hour.
Yeah.
I first saw him on, I was just looking up fruitarians one time and I saw him, and then I saw him on Nature Boy's channel, Melanation TV. He posts a lot of Robert Morse stuff on there. And it's really interesting stuff. He goes off on like huge rants, and like every 10 minutes or so, I'll find myself like learning something new, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So it is a very informative channel for sure. It's just you got to have a lot of time to sit through all his videos.
Yeah, and it takes a while to like get it too, because it's kind of confusing at first. You're like, what the heck is he talking about? Because he's talking about the body and like two sides of chemistry. It's like acids and alkaline and all this stuff. But like yeah, I mean, he promotes like vegan. He doesn't think that you should eat meat, dairy, eggs, anything to be healthy. And actually, this is a good thing to bring up. He used to have friends, and they all would either do raw food or they do raw meat, like back in the day, because he's in his 60s or whatever. So he was around all these people that did raw meat eating before like it's popular now. It's not really that popular now, but before now. And he said that's like the evolution. They usually will do like raw food and they'll add in like the raw animal products, and then they'll finally realize that's not healthy, it's not working. Then they go to like more fruitarian, like raw vegetables and that kind of thing, because their health isn't improving at a certain point from eating the raw meat. And he's had that experience, and he was fruitarian for like years down the road. He doesn't follow it now, so he gets a lot of flack because he doesn't like look the part. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't look like, I don't know, the picture perfect healthy person, but he's more of like, I don't know, like an educator. You know, he says he goes out and eats like vegan Indian food and like stuff like that. So, but
yeah,
I mean,
I heard him actually say
cool.
the same thing about the transitioning where he was talking about like, oh, first you'll do this, then you'll do this, and then he said once you get to like raw fruits and vegetables, he's like eventually you won't even want the vegetables. And I found myself that way too. Like I used to just stuff my face with like leafy greens. Like I would just like have whole containers of like kale and spinach and just kind of like just eat it out of the thing. And then after a while, when I started eating more and more fruit, I just didn't want that anymore. And I was like, I don't even touch leafy greens anymore. And I'm just stuffing my face with fruit all day. And it's weird how your taste buds adapt like that. You just don't want it anymore.
Yeah, well, dude, this is the thing I get so mad about. And like I was thinking about it today. It's like, dude, we're biological like frugivores. We're actually herbivorous frugivores, I think. So like we mostly eat fruit and then we can eat greens too. Yeah. And it's just because it's like how we're set up. So it makes me so mad when all the people say we're carnivores and stuff. It's like, dude, our teeth, nothing. We're like primates, man. It's like we're set up like primates. Look what they eat. And they're like, oh, well, the chimps eat each other. It's like, dude, they eat each other because they're like going crazy for some other reason. It's not because they want it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or they eat rats and it's like 2% of their diet or something. And you talked about insects before. So it's like, yeah, dude, it's like, and then bonobos are our closest relative. And we share like over 98% of our DNA or whatever with them. And they eat literally like over 95% fruit. And then in the seasons when they're not able to get that much, it's more vegetables, but it's just plants. Like they just eat plants. And we're like closest related to them. So I don't know, man, I get frustrated because.
Oh, man. Yeah, me too. Especially like about, eating meat thing. Oh, they eat meats. Yeah, like how often? Are they just stuffing their face with other monkeys every day? Exactly. Monkeys for every meal. Like, no, they're not. It's like that would be like, once a month if that. Mm-hmm. Like just because you caught it on film once and you made a YouTube compilation of like 8 monkeys eating some meat. That's like, oh, no, that's their whole diet because you got a YouTube compilation, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. And then you got to look at like per calorie too. So like, okay, they might eat some insects, but how many calories are you getting from those insects compared to all the plants they're eating? So like, it's not like they're eating like, 2,000 calories worth of crickets or something. You know what I'm saying? So, but and then like the smartest primates also eat the most fruit. So so it's like, and I guess we're the smartest primates. So shouldn't we eat more fruit? So
exactly, and then also the our mother's milk has the smallest amount of protein out of any animal ever tested. Like, shouldn't that be some kind of like a light bulb above your head? Like, oh, maybe I don't need all this protein. Maybe we should be having like the least amount of protein if that's like perfectly suited to grow a baby with like it's got like 1% protein.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then even the World Health Organization says all you need is 4.8% protein. Nobody ever dies of protein deficiency. Like everything lines up perfectly, as in you are not a carnivore, and anybody who believes it is just like insane. And just like this Sparenge, the Sparenge guy or whoever else is promoting this stuff, like you can easily see that these people are just habitual liars about everything. And just go flip-flopping back and forth in every video just for who knows what reason.
Dude, well, I saw the video you put up today when you guys were talking about that raw meat, the guru guy or whatever. And then like a couple of videos popped up where Sparenge or whatever was talking about how he got like all of his ideas from him pretty much. And I was like, this guy is a loon, man. This guy's like not I don't know how you could look to him as like your guru and then like, oh yeah, just put meat out on the counter for a month and eat it. Like, I don't know. Like I'm interested to know if that guy's actually doing that, but like actually eating that old of meat and not getting sick. That's my whole thing. Like it just blows my mind that could be possible.
Well, he's dead though, right?
Oh, that guy. The older dude. He's dead. Oh, and then it's a conspiracy. Like he got killed. And I watched like a bunch of videos today about it because I saw yours, so I was interested in it. But that guy.
Yeah, I mean, well, the guy said he had 300 heart attacks, and he had like every form of cancer, and he healed all of it just with raw meat. Like, how could you have 300 heart attacks? It didn't even make sense.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like raw meat.
The records.
raw meat definitely is better than cooked meat. Like, technically, if you're looking at it, because like every animal on the planet eats raw food, and so like I don't like to be too dogmatic, but like I mean, you've made some videos about like Ryan, saying like cooked food, and you know what I mean, and you're talking about all that. Oh, he's like loves cooked food so much. Like we evolved eating it, but it's like we were eating fruit way longer, and every animal eats raw food. And not that we can't eat like potatoes and cooked food and be healthy, but it's like to me, so what you're doing when you eat raw meat is you're taking out like 4 of the other bad things. Like you're not eating processed food, you're not using chemicals, you're not like doing certain things. So like, oh yeah, you'll probably feel a little bit better. But then eventually that luck's gonna run out and you're still making a big mistake, which is eating a food that we're not designed to eat, which is meat. Because it has cholesterol, it has too much saturated fat. So eventually, even though it's better because you're not eating all this other crap, and like processed stuff, like it is better, but it's not gonna last. You know what I mean? So and then like you don't get vitamin C and like there's too many other things. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to be clear though, the Agenus Vonderplanitz guy is not raw meat. He is rotten meat. That guy eats nothing but rotten meat. So that guy will let his stuff rot in jars on the counter for months. So he has eggs, right? He'll buy a carton of eggs and he'll put pinholes in each egg and then let it rot on the counter for like 48 days or something, and then eat them when they're black. Like it's disgusting.
So here's the thing, like why as humans, like why would we ever pick that as our first food? Like, oh yeah, there's fruit growing on the tree. It smells really good. It looks pretty. We're one of the only animals I think that sees color. We can grab it with our hands. But oh hey, look at that dead rat's been there for about 2 months. I should probably eat that instead. Like
I mean that's the most absurd thing of the color. Like why would you need the color? You know, like if you look at a dog or a wolf or who hunts, like they see in black and white because you can see more detail and movement in black and white. So why don't we have that if we're carnivores? Like
exactly,
it's just all crazy.
And it's funny because the orange is green and it blends in with the tree until it's orange and then it sticks out, so we'd be able to see it from like far away and be like, oh, food, you know. So I don't know. And then it's the whole like roadkill thing. Like no one really is unless. That's the thing. They're so like into this like veganism conspiracy, and that like they convince themselves that like, oh yeah, we're like manly, we're eating this dead animal, this is like blood, we're supposed to drink the blood, and it's just like I don't know. I think it's like a backwards thinking. Like they're thinking in a lower vibration or something. Like I don't know. I don't want to get all like spiritual, but like you know what I mean. Like it's kind of like. You're not going to be evolving that way. You're devolving that way. You're eating dead things when we could be eating living things that like the sun gave energy to and like it's alive and gives us life. Like, you know, like, So.
Yeah. And then people don't have like a scavenger's mentality when it comes to anything else. They just, these people just want to have it with food, but then they want to be on the internet watching cool videos and everything else everything is beautiful. You know, they want to wear these heavy metal, cool shirts and everything. And like, but then, they want to act like there's some sort of scavengers. Like you should be eating diseased animals filled with cancer and stuff like that. If that's, the way that you actually want to eat, because that's how those animals would eat. I just want to be clear about one thing about, raw versus cooked too, about Ryan's video and stuff, is that I don't necessarily think that all raw food is better than all cooked food, right? So like the best raw foods are better than the best cooked foods. But then there's going to be exceptions. Like if you boil a sweet potato, that's going to be better than eating a raw onion, right? Or that's going to be better than, like if you boil, I don't know, some vegetables, a pot of vegetables, that might be better than eating like a bunch of raw eggplants or something, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you need to be like, dogmatic and strict about it, but to say like you shouldn't do raw food because you're not going to be as healthy as if you eat cooked food, I think that's wrong. Like you can be just as healthy eating all raw as if you were adding a few sweet potatoes or a few whatever like he thinks you need to be more balanced, I guess you could say. But I don't know. For me, my experience though is like when I'm raw, because actually today I ate something that wasn't the best in my opinion. I ate like my mom got this like vegan pizza, and I was like, oh, this is dope. So I ate some of that, but like it doesn't make me feel as good. So I just kind of go off of like how I feel and like my intuition. And it's like when I eat mostly raw, it's like my energy's way better and like my mental clarity is way better. Everything's just way better. So I just try to do that. I try to make myself feel good by eating the food that does that. So raw food.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just
it's like
energy or what.
Yeah, it's like addictive, like stimulants and stuff like that. But then there is raw foods too that, like I was just saying, there is raw foods that are going to be bad too that have addictive stimulants. Like, people will say good things about raw chocolate or raw cacao. Like that's like pure caffeine and stimulants and stuff, and that's not going to be good for you, and that's going to cause your brain and liver to not work at full function. When you have food that's just packed with stimulants, and they'll say things like, "Oh, well, it's got tons of antioxidants." Like, so what? That's so the same argument.
So do grapes.
Yeah, that's the same argument that people will use, like for cooking certain things, like spinach or something. They'll say, "Well, you get more antioxidants when you cook it." Well, that doesn't make it better just because it has more antioxidants. Like every single plant has antioxidants, like even poisonous plants. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. Same with like, there's more lycopene in tomatoes, but it's like, okay, well, what is there less of when you cook it too? There's also probably less vitamin C, or certain things like, so it's not going to make it better just because there's more of one nutrient or more of one thing. That doesn't make the whole thing better. To me, it was like it's the way it is for a reason. And like certain things like garlic and even ginger and onion, like I don't think we really eat those things if we had fruit trees everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? That wouldn't really be our food anyway. So like certain things, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if we were living in a perfect world, it would be a lot different. Like food, also the fruit sucks now. Like how many times have you got fruit that just sucks? Like it doesn't taste good or it doesn't ripen up right. So like that's another problem with the raw food diet is people aren't getting high quality enough food. So they're going to run into problems because there's, mineral deficiencies and stuff like that. So it's like, we got to be smarter about it. So I'm all for the natural way, but then I'm also like, we got to do it in a smarter way because we like destroyed our soil and we're destroying the planet. There's more chemicals around us and stuff. So we can't just be like, oh, all you have to do is eat fruits and vegetables and you'll be healthy. It's like, well, no, not anymore. Like you should take B12 and you should check your zinc and you should, you know what I mean? There's certain things that you should be aware of. It's not like
for me too, like I think of how you're talking about, like, this is where we came from. This is how animals adapted and stuff. I mean, we're awake for 12 to 16 hours because that's our foraging time, right? Where we would just be picking, fruits and things like that. And that's why cats and hunters will sleep for like the whole day and they just hunt for a couple hours. But now, with society, the way it's set up is we got to work all day and you got to do all these things. You don't even live around trees. Like I don't live around trees, and I got to go to the grocery store where the fruit is green and going ripe on the shelves. And, you don't have, a lot of time to just pick and eat all day and grow and do all these things. So, I mean, I have to basically eat cooked foods, and so does everybody else in Thunder Bay. I don't know anybody who's a raw vegan in Thunder Bay. It's like unheard of just because of winter and everything. So I mean, it does. It does take. That's the main thing that goes into it is if it's practical, and that isn't an actual argument against the health of the diet. Like if you could do it, it would be way healthier. Like if you did it in a right way, it would be way healthier. But it's hard to do it in a right way.
Exactly. Well, that's why I live where I live now, and I'm trying to go to more tropical areas because it's like, man, I ate a mango that was local the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I never tasted a mango before until I had, you know what I mean? Until I had one that was ripe on the tree, and then it was picked, and like I ate it a day later. So now I get it. Now when you eat fruit that good, then you'll realize like, oh my gosh, like this is what our food is supposed to be. Like this.
Yeah, this is like the real deal.
Good. Yeah. You can make a whole meal out of it, but if you go to the store and get oranges or something that are unripe and they're like acid and they're like killing your teeth, and you're like, oh, fruit's bad. So it's like, yeah,
you want it to be like naturally being picked by a tree.
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys ever done like an experiment and tried to eat like for a week, even like just all fruit or raw food, just 100% for like fun? Or have you ever done it?
I just pick vegetables from my garden. That's it.
Oh, nice.
I've done it for like 2 or 3 days at a time. Not a whole week yet, but
it's
like,
hard a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is like I do know that I am like addicted to cooked foods. Like it is addictive, and it would be. So the idea that I'm thinking is like if I was gonna go through with it, I would have to ensure that I would have the food in order to do it. And I don't think I can ensure that I'm gonna have a whole week's full of raw, good food. Where I can just continuously go to the grocery store or get it. So I'm just like, screw it, I'll just do it for a day or two.
Yeah. It's just cool because after you do it like a week, like that's when I noticed. I was like, oh wow, like now I feel like a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like now, I don't know. It takes a little while for your body to like really adapt to it. But my secret was like when I lived in Colorado was bananas. But I know not everyone wants to eat like 15 bananas in a day, but like I don't mind. Like I'll sit down and eat 8 by peeling them, or I'll make a big smoothie or something. But it's kind of like you need to have those like staples if you want to do it. But I was just wondering if you had any experience with it, because I think it's pretty cool.
I could probably do bananas. I mean, that's an idea, but like I just think to myself, I'd probably get sick of bananas. I prefer like more water.
That's what I thought. And then it's like, I don't know, you kind of start, because it's like once you start eating something, you kind of crave it. So I'm like, oh, I actually started craving my banana smoothie every day or eating bananas every day.
Yeah. I only eat bananas like twice a day. That's pretty much it.
Really?
Yeah. Like I usually make them with a sandwich.
Like more.
Huh?
Like 1 or 2 bananas or like an actual
1 or 2 bananas like twice a day.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like making like, let's just say like vegan pancakes, I would just like take 1 banana and just like throw it in there, and then later on.
Yeah, well, you're like working out all the time, right? Or I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm usually just working out. Like right now, is just my schedule is just pretty crazy. So it's like I work out between 5 to 6 days a week and train between 1 to 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Dang, nice.
I train between like calisthenics and like weight training.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to start going back to the gym just because I want to put on a little weight so I can be like a better messenger. Because I hate like people like, oh, you're so skinny and you eat fruit and stuff. It's like, well, I also don't lift weights. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've always been a runner, so it's like it's kind of hard to look big when you don't pick up heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Logan, I also have that the Vegan Gains T-shirt.
Which one? Which one's that?
The Vegan Gains T-shirt. Yeah.
Oh, you bought one?
Yeah, like a while back. Yeah.
Nice. I used to do all the powerlifting, bodybuilding type of stuff, right? And I just did it for so long that I got bored of it, right? Because I can't just have no goals.
Yeah.
Like I can't just go to the gym just to be like I'm going to go there just to look good, right?
Yeah, like
that's not a goal.
Yeah.
Because if you already have the muscle, like okay, so now I'm just going to maintain the muscle. That's boring, right? So once you get up there, it's like I was getting up to 500-pound deadlifts and just like a lot of weights, and I was like I wasn't going to go past that unless I was taking steroids or just getting fatter. Yeah. And I didn't want to do either one. So I was like, okay, I got to have new goals. So I was like, well, I should take up running, right? So then I actively try to lose muscle to be a better runner. And then everybody's like, you're skinny. You're getting skinnier now because of your veganism. It's like, no, I'm choosing to be skinnier for running. And, maybe I'll get back to weightlifting and whatever, but that'll be a couple of years from now after I, run some ultra marathons and do some different stuff.
That's interesting, though, because I used to be I'm pretty, like, slim now, but I was even skinnier until I started eating healthy. And then I finally, like, my body was finally absorbing nutrition. Like, it until I ate more raw food for my body to even like gain weight. Now it's like I can actually gain weight if I ate too much. Before it would be like I'd eat like, you know, $20 at Taco Bell every day and I still wouldn't gain an ounce. I was still like super skinny. So it's interesting.
I would say
you have to stuff yourself.
I would say like when like 3 months when I was vegan, I basically hit my PR on bench press and I got like 315, which was like damn, like that was my goal, like trying to hit that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think being more on the what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was saying if you're like a skinny person naturally, you have to like really try to stuff yourself. Like that's a hard thing to do for some people. That was a hard thing to do for me at first when I was a meat eater. Was to just force more food, you know, down your throat until like you're hurting at bedtime, going, oh, you know, like mass gainer shakes and stuff. And you know, I put on 60 pounds, and then it became easy to put on weight, and then it was hard to go in reverse. So it's like now I got to lose all this weight, and both are challenging, gaining weight and losing weight.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys, since you guys are more in the weightlifting stuff, like so for like protein and stuff, like do you think obviously you need a little bit more if you're weightlifting? Because there's guys out there that say, you know, fruit is enough. There's enough protein in fruit and leafy greens. So what do you think? Because there's a guy, you know, you've probably seen Fruit and Strength, that dude on YouTube.
I just looked it up right now when you said it. I've never seen
it. Yeah. So like he's not the biggest, but he has some pretty impressive like deadlifts and stuff. And he eats raw fruit, mostly fruit. And he's doing talks at like the Woodstock Fruit Festival this year, and he does them everywhere about like, you know, why is fruit good for bodybuilding or like powerlifting and everything like that. What do you think about that?
So I mean I don't watch any fitness channels or anything anymore. Like I used to watch when YouTube first started. I watched like Scott Herman and Chris Jones and Matt Ogus, all the old school guys that were there, and I kind of just learned how to you know, work out from their tutorials and stuff, right? And just like the lifts. But when it comes to supplements and food, it's all really nonsense, like all of it. All the supplements are trash, you know, testosterone boosters, creatine, you name it. It's all just trash. And, you know, as vegans, we know like the only thing you should really be taking is B12 and maybe a D. And other than that, you know, screw supplements. And food-wise, you know, everything has protein, right? Unless you're drinking Gatorade or refined sugar in a bottle, everything has protein. Everything's got, you know, fats and carbs, right? So it's not about getting more protein. It's about getting more calories. And when you get more calories, you will get more protein along with the calories. So it would be better to have a whole food, like a potato, and get more calories from that and get healthy as well. And then just, you know, continuously add a little bit more potatoes or things like that to your diet, and you will get bigger that way, and it'll be a healthier way to get bigger.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. We're about to wrap this up. We got like 2 minutes left. Anyone want to finish?
Yeah, Broski, I don't know what Broski, what do you think about like what's your thoughts on eating and getting bigger diet wise?
I mean, usually just depends. Just stay like consistent on like what you want to eat. I mean, usually it's like like after I come back from the gym, I'll sometimes have like raw foods on the side, have like some cooked foods like cauliflower and then rice on the side, and a little bit of black beans and some hemp seeds. You know.
Right. Isn't it more just about like getting enough calories and you're gonna get enough?
Yeah, basically enough calories.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, protein's not really the big deal. I mean, the average human needs to consume about like 50 to 60 grams of protein a day. So it's pretty much totally fine with that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get to, even if you're eating raw. You just got to eat a little bit more greens, some nuts, but it's easy.
Yeah. Because eating raw food is more good for like recovery.
Oh yeah, dude, fruit is the best recovery food ever. Like no matter what you're doing.
I will say this for protein though. if you are going on like a cut, right, and you don't want to lose muscle, so if you're going on to like say like a powerlifting contest and you want to have a lower body weight, or you're going into a bodybuilding show and you want to have a lower body weight and you want to maintain as much muscle as possible, then you should have higher protein for sure.
True.
Right? You should lower your calories but have your protein higher to try to maintain as much muscle as you can while you're cutting. And then, you know, on your powerlifting events, then you should have carbs definitely before your event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, bodybuilding show doesn't matter, but that's the only time where I would think high protein would matter.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Wait, what just happened? Who
Nick
just joined?
just joined in the last minute of the stream here. What's up, Nick?
Appeal to logic fallacy. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
We're just about to end the stream. I
Yeah,
just
we're about
wanted to
to
say
end the
something too
stream.
about we've been talking about raw food. So this is an interesting.
I feel like, do you guys want to go for like at least about like 10 minutes or so, maybe? Because since Nick,
sure, yeah,
Nick,
yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, because I hate for this new guy just to randomly just come in and be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And then just like, "Oh, we're about to end the stream."
Yeah, now we have to end the stream, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're out. Like we're done. It's over.
Oh no. Coming at the end of the stream, and it's like, okay, yeah, Nick's more of a reason to shut off the stream.
Exactly. Yeah, no. What were you gonna ask Logan though about?
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say about, you know, people say raw food diet, right? So raw food isn't a diet, right? So like a diet means like, you know, like it's a diet would be telling you what to eat. So that's just saying you're not eating cooked foods. And that's only one way of processing foods. It's not telling you what foods you should be eating. It's just like, that's just saying eat anything. And that's not a diet to say eat anything. And people shouldn't be eating anything, you know, any raw food. So like the term raw food diet to me doesn't even make sense.
True. I feel that. Yeah. Because it's not a diet, it's just how you're eating. It's just like what you eat. You just don't cook your food, I guess. You know?
Yeah. What do you think about gluten?
I don't like gluten personally. I don't do good on it, I guess. For me, you guys. Yeah, right. Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
Yeah, I hate gluten.
It really messes me up though. Like that'll be one of the things that'll make me break out, and then it makes me feel like foggy headed for real.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Especially like I've eaten like seitan, and then that's like holy crap. Like I can really notice the difference. I feel like if you're not that healthy and you don't have like celiac disease, you might not notice honestly like that it's making you feel that way, because you probably always feel that way. You know, you always kind of feel a little bit lower. But yeah, like after eating like fruit mostly and then eating gluten, it just makes you feel like crap.
So what do you think? What do you think about tearing root vegetables out of the ground? Do you think that's murder?
Yeah, man, that's fucked up, bro.
I think I think it separates families, and I think that you know, I don't think that's right. Pretty harsh, man.
Rocks are sentient
Nick,
too.
what do you think? What do you think's more moral, fruit or root vegetables?
Rocks.
Fruit or root vegetables, as in like causes less suffering as a byproduct, like.
When you rip out a root vegetable out of the ground, you are murdering the plant, and you could actually hear them scream if you listen close enough.
You can hear me scream if you listen close enough.
Oh shit! Ow.
I mean, yeah, dude. I don't know. It seems pretty ridiculous.
I mean, well, you know, technically, fruit wants us to eat it, you know, I guess, you know, we're spreading its seeds and stuff.
Yes, daddy, put me in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, it is a sex organ of the plant too, so we're eating like vaginas when we eat an apple.
Peaches
Nice.
as well.
Yeah, like if you look into it, it's kind of funny, and then a lot of them look like it too. So it's
Yeah.
sexy. You can
Weird.
be sexy and eat your fruit, guys. Yeah.
A mango can look like a
What do you think
wrinkly
about-
testicle.
What do you think
Or
about Brian
avocados.
Clement?
Oh, I mean, he's got good things. He's helping people for sure. Yeah, he's all on the green diet, right? High fat
Yeah.
or
So what do you
whatever.
think about sprouts? Are sprouts
Oh, yeah.
better than fruit, or are they tied?
No, they're not. They're not better. I think they're good, but they don't have enough calories. You can't really live off them. You know what I mean? Like they're good. Like they have more nutrition, more minerals, and I mean you could say life force in a dumb way, but you know what I mean? Like they have a lot of energy, but they don't have the calories. So I mean I don't think you could do it and be an athlete and eat sprouts. But if you're sitting around all day, you can eat sprouts and be perfectly fine.
You got
Sprouts and
lightning in the
nuts.
back there?
Yeah,
got
dude, I'm
lightning
putting
going
it.
on back
Yeah, I'm putting it on the show for you guys. I'm making
Nice.
that happen.
Beautiful.
No, yeah, eat lightning.
Isn't like calories in the UK represented as energy? Ooh,
Wait, what?
there's another lightning strike.
Oh, are you
Who's in
saying
the-
like are you trying to say like okay, so energy that I said were in the sprouts, like you could say that because I said that, like isn't that the same thing as calories? Is that what you're saying?
Like they're
Yeah, I mean, technically, honestly, what I believe is as you evolve, like if you're eating a certain way, like you can actually go down and eat less and need less food for the same amount of like expenditure because your body's more efficient. So I guess if you were like super healthy, in theory, you could eat like a small meal a day and still do everything that someone who wasn't as efficient at digestion and absorption and everything would be eating more food. So I think it depends on how efficient you are at absorbing everything you're eating.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I'm not actually too well versed on that. That does sound interesting. It seems theoretically
Well, a
possible.
lot of raw food dudes that are like older, they say that they eat way less now and they have just as much energy but I mean your what is it? Your metabolism slows down as you get older too, so that's kind of with it. So you're not going to be as hungry, I guess. But yeah, I mean they say like, oh yeah, I used to need like this much, like so much food, and now I can eat a little small meal and not lose any weight, or you know what I mean? And then if I eat too much, then I actually gain weight. If I ate the same amount as I did in my 30s and my 60s, let's say, now I'm gaining weight so now they have to eat less. So I mean that's anecdotal, like it's each person to person, but that's what they say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
There's a lot into that because like the principles of like food combining, like most of food combining is like, you know, you add an avocado to a salad and then you could absorb the the carotenoids better from the spinach.
yeah, like all the fat soluble
say,
vitamins.
the carrots. Yeah, and so if you add like say an orange to a salad with spinach, the vitamin C helps you absorb the iron better from the spinach. And all these food combining strategies all have to do with like raw foods. And if you know, like and it's a big deal. So you'll absorb like 3 times as much carotenoids and things like that, right? So it's like way up there compared to just normally eating something with iron or you know, vitamins in it.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question for you guys. Do you think nutrition is like vital? Because think about this, like what other animal like thinks about nutrition? They just eat what's around them, and you know what I mean? And then we always try to like do what you were just saying, like, oh, well, you feed this with this and you get more of this. Like, do you think it's important to like break it down that way? Or do you think just like eat healthy and not worry about it so much?
Yeah, so the word nutrition just means the study of food, right? So it's like it's a simple thing and it's the complex thing, just like working out, right? So working out, I could tell somebody to do a pull, a push, and a squat, and then, you know, they're going to be in shape if they just do that every day. Or you could break down exactly what happens in the body when you do these things, how much you should do it, you know, all these things, and get super technical about it, right? Or like same thing with dieting. You could tell somebody to eat fruit and greens, or I could just break down how the actual avocado does this with the greens and the orange does this with the greens, and, you know, get complex about it. because that is the diet basically. Is fruit and grains would probably be like the healthiest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nuts and seeds I think we should eat too in like moderation. I think those are really good. They got things that other like fruits and greens don't have. So that's what I hate when people are like, oh, don't eat nuts. It's like, no, dude. Like, just don't eat a whole bag of cashews at once. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really bad for your teeth to eat like a whole bunch of nuts and seeds too, I hear.
Yeah, have you ever seen like a nut like in a tree? Like you'd have to like get it out of the shell, and like it's so much work to just get an almond out of its shell. But then you go to like a grocery store and it's in the bulk bin, and you just fill up your thing like a whole bag full. It's like we wouldn't really do that easily, so you know we wouldn't eat that many of them. But I think like we would like in the fall when they're in the trees, and we wouldn't eat them in the summer. And like there's times for everything, you know.
Right.
And they're also not rancid.
Yeah. What's the? Yeah, I think you're just about to hit on that actually. What's the negative effect of eating nuts? Like,
well, if you eat nuts and seeds from the grocery store, like even if they have raw on them and they're in a Ziploc bag, they've already been exposed to a lot of air. So there is some rancidity going on there where they've started, the fats in the nuts have started to become rancid. So that could be a problem. If you eat too much nuts and seeds, they have high amounts of fat, which could be a problem. And then also, you eat a whole bunch at once, messes up the bacteria in your mouth and can cause tooth problems and things like that.
That actually might.
That's actually really interesting. I never even
knew that I got recently. I was eating a lot of cashews when I wanted to like intake fat. And when I wouldn't eat cashews, it seemed like my mouth was fine, but like my digestion and my teeth got totally fucked when I started to integrate cashews into that.
Well, cashews are I think they're like a pseudo legume too. So they're not even like a nut technically. I don't know if we even should be eating cashews, honestly. But the thing about nuts too, if you don't soak them, they have enzyme inhibitors. So like, because they want to be able to grow after like an animal eats it or whatever, and like if it somehow survives through the digestion, it can grow, or it tries to stop it from breaking down. So if you soak it in water for like 24 hours, then the nut thinks it's about to like grow into a plant or whatever, so it releases the enzyme inhibitors. So then we can actually digest it better and absorb more nutrition out of it. The only problem is when you soak it in water, they're not as good of a snack because they're like kind of soggy tasting. They're all waterlogged. But yeah, like even squirrels know to do that. They'll go like bury the nuts and then they'll eat them later. So like it's interesting to see. Even animals will like kind of know about that process intuitively. So they'll like bury the nuts, like wait, and then they'll come back to them. And maybe they're just storing them, but I've like watched some videos about that. It's interesting.
Hey guys,
I have kind of like a question after.
Yeah, I've heard that too about cashews though. Cashews and peanuts are like the two like crappiest types of nuts to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They taste good though. They're like they taste the best.
I love cashews, man.
Yeah. And then walnuts are the best.
Walnuts
are actually quite yummy.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
Yeah, I just love nuts,
What kind of nuts?
What was your question, Nick?
All nuts.
Is vegetable paste really on a carnivore diet?
Oh, we were talking about that.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
We talked about that for like
first started.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think he is. I saw a comment where he was like, "Oh, well, I've been eating this way now, and 95% or 85% of my problems, I don't want to misquote him, are gone." Because it was on the new Goji Man video. Because he was like replying to his other video. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, 85% of my problems are solved. And everyone was like, dude, that's like masking of symptoms. It doesn't mean you're healed. It's been like a week at the most. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he said, I very much appreciate your help. Would taking these tests still be worthwhile if I'm on a carnivore diet and have basically 100% healed every problem I had? ?
Oh yeah, but he made another comment under there where he replied again, and he was like, oh no, like I'm actually on it. I've been on it for so long, however long, and it's working or whatever. So he even like went into it even more. So it's I don't know.
Dude, I think I just saw lightning behind you, bro.
It's pretty cool, right? I'm
Yeah, I
missing
just
it.
saw
though, 'cause
that.
I'm,
I was just like,
facing
you
the wrong
talking
way.
to
I'm
me, and I was
facing the
just
wrong
like,
way.
holy crap, that blue light just like right behind you, bro.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get me. But no, yeah, he's I think he was we were talking about that earlier. He's thinking about doing it for a long time. So I think it was a matter of time before he tried it. And then we were talking about the fiber actually could be hurting his issue. So like if he took out the fiber right now and he is eating all meat, so yeah, he might be feeling better because he's removing, like if you're knocking your knee against the wall and you finally stop knocking your knee against the wall, yeah, you'll feel better for a while, but then once you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna help him, obviously.
Yeah, I think what I find interesting is all these people, like the rise of these people on carnivore diet. Like first we had this Travis guy that hopped on stream and didn't know how to debate ethics. And then
I remember that.
oh my god, it was miserable. And then we had who was it? Precise Puncher, another carnivore dieter that I debated, who couldn't answer
that
questions.
guy you just sent me videos of. I didn't realize that was the Precise Puncher guy. He changed his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were sending me a new guy. Mm-hmm. I was like, who's this dumbass? And then I was like, oh, this is the same dumbass.
Yeah,
I thought it was a new.
I really want to debate that one guy. What's his name? Brutally Honest. I don't know if you guys.
Really
yeah. I made a call out video for him, and then he said no.
He's a pussy.
Oh, you know what he said? He said you're not. He said I'm not a biologist, so he's not going to debate me on biology. So the funniest thing is, he made a video about biology. He's not a biologist.
Oh.
So then I replied to his video saying, well, let's do a debate about your video. And then he says, well, you're not a biologist. So he's appealing to authority, first of all. And he also did the same. I mean, it makes no sense. So guy's just, he definitely just doesn't want to do it for whatever reason.
I mean, what a tool. Like, I'm amazed that someone thinks they can, like, just get away with a claim like that and not be called out. Like, it's just like, people make these really like intense claims and think that they can just get away with it. Like, oh yeah, bro, you know, like I'm basically gonna try to like avoid debates by saying like, oh, you're not a biologist, but I'm gonna do the very thing I'm accusing you of not having. Like I didn't word that very well. Yeah, the point there is like, okay, yeah, like I'm going to claim that I'm like I have some opinion worth noting on this video, and then I'm going to appeal to the fact that you're not an authority, you know, and not not debate you on it. It's just I don't know.
So that makes his video void, like in the first place, because he's not a biologist. So take down your video. Why'd you even make it? Like if you're not a biologist, it makes no sense.
Yeah, like literally just delete it. I really take issue with people like this. And then, just, I don't know, people like trying to say, like, make truth claims or like completely straw man other people's arguments because they don't understand their arguments. Or just like being scared to debate in general. Like, if you truly have, you know, a free marketplace of ideas and like you truly care about defending yourself in the public sphere, like the YouTube sphere, you should be able to defend your position live in front of anyone. Like I've debated I hypocrite. Like I've debated everyone who's challenged me to a debate, except for one person who got absolutely destroyed, and I just decided not to debate him. So
So I don't know if you saw anything, Dave, about that Dr. Avey guy. So I debated him in the Discord that me and Nick are on. Ask Yourselves Discord. I debated him about raw versus cooked foods, and basically why people who promote raw foods will never win is because there's no outcome-based data, right? So there's no like 50-year study on fruitarians versus this, you know, like strict fruitarians versus this in all these different ways. So therefore, like if you debate somebody like this Dr. Avey guy, he'll just go, well, you don't have all these studies, which there is, you know, studies out there. There's just not ones to his liking or to these people's likings. And then they'll just dismiss all of it, right? So, I mean, it's a bummer when you try to debate this because people will just go, show me studies. And it's like, well, can't we just talk about reality?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're never gonna win because, I mean, exactly what you said. But the thing is that for me, like science is cool and everything, but I'm more of just like common sense and like based. I mean, I know it's not gonna change it. Yeah. It's not. Well, it's not. And
common sense isn't an argument.
I know, but it's just kind of like try something.
I'm actually gonna disagree with both of you guys. Like,
I
actually don't totally agree. Like, I think you should have evidence, and you should have like, especially if you're going to make claims, like, based on outcome-based data, like things with like a good, how about adequate sample size to represent the gen pop, like you know, in like an observed sample to, you know, with sample diversity, like did the sample size represent the general population, you know, things like this, like being able to look at objective metrics and say like, okay, I can actually point to like how exactly these products are harmful and like what the effects are of these products.
What about you? I mean, I agree, but what about just like having people test it for themselves, or also like how far do, in your opinion, do like testimonials go to you? Because obviously anyone can say they've done anything, and you could be lying, or you know what I mean? Oh, well, I had brain cancer, now I don't because I ate raw food. I don't know. Maybe if I would have ate whole food vegan, it could have happened, but that's not what I did. I ate vegetables, and that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I do know what you mean, 1000%. I think the issue that I have with that argument is people like Jordan Peterson's daughter claim to have, like, you know, healed like rheumatoid arthritis in like 50 or 40 different places, use like on the carnivore diet because she was so highly reactive to all these different foods, and you know now all she eats is like beef, cooked beef, water and salt. Like that's literally all she eats. And Jordan Peterson advocates for this diet because evidently it's healed her daughter, so he's appealing to anecdotes. And it's so funny because he doesn't cite to one study, and the guy's a fucking clinical psychologist. He's Mr. Empiricism, and he's supposedly supposed to be this like miracle worker of the logos, like logic itself. But yet he hasn't pointed to one study. He's just appealing to anecdotes. Like,
so that's not what I was. That's not what I was saying, though. What I was saying is that there's no data on both sides. Like, so you can't show either way that raw food, people who ate raw food is terrible, and you can't show because there's no studies that show this versus this, right? But there is studies. Like I could. What's that? Like you mentioned calories.
I think you mentioned calories, which I don't think is.
Yeah. So like he did mention like two studies that like he said, there's one about teeth, which I showed, even Dr. Greger has made videos about how, if you were that worried about it, all you do is flush your mouth out with water and you're perfectly fine because fruits and vegetables actually prevent oral cancer. So that would be a good idea to eat fruits and vegetables for oral health. And then the other one was like a sample group of like a bunch of old women lost their periods or something. And so that debunks all of fruitarianism. Like, so like to me, that's like, no, it doesn't, just because you have one study with a bunch of women who didn't eat enough, that's an argument against society or where these people were living. And if they didn't eat enough, it's not an argument against the health of the diet. Right. So besides those two things, there's no other information of like this versus this, but there is tons and tons of mechanistic data and then other studies relating to how, eating more and more fruits and vegetables is just the more you eat, the better health you have. But then he'll just dismiss all of those because they're not 50-year outcome-based, studies, right? So that's why, to me, it's like, it's you can either believe it based on your own research, and or you can just believe whatever the hell you want. So, like, I'm not just gonna fight tooth and nail trying to convince people who are just hard-headed and just want to be like, show me 50-year studies, because you'll die before you have that study.
It's like, how old do you want to be till you want to find out those studies?
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't prove it or disprove it, like having this, like not having the study doesn't disprove it either. Like, but
yeah, but you can't then use that as evidence.
Well, yeah, I know. But
yeah.
But it's interesting because they say like, oh yeah, the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the better. So then what happens if that's all you eat? You know what I mean? So there definitely needs to be some sort of like longer term thing.
Yeah, so that's
like, yeah, we all know they're the best to eat. So why would it be bad to just eat that? Like, how is that not bad?
So that's my point I was saying to Nick there is like, I'm not even trying to use it as an argument anymore. Just like, if you don't want to hear anything else besides a 50-year study, then, good luck with your life. You know what I mean? And you might and the person might do just fine, eating cooked foods or whatever. But they could have also done a lot better if they added a lot more, raw fruits and vegetables to their diet. So, I mean, it's up to the person to decide.
Yeah, and as long as those things are based on like facts. I mean, I think I don't believe that we should like be like sitting on the sidelines, and asking someone for evidence for every small claim that someone makes. But if someone's going to make like a substantive claim, like, this is bad, this is good, like, if you're gonna like make a hard claim like eating cooked potatoes is bad, it's like, okay, why? Like, what is the mechanism?
I wouldn't make that claim though, because there's no good and bad, right? I would never make that claim unless you were talking about like a pineapple versus a I don't know, a ring pop, right? Then it would be good versus bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, food is on like a spectrum, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, I could like, there's things like right here. I have about a study they just did. It says experts who carried out one of the largest diet and heart studies conducted found that a potent mixture of these everyday foods can have a major impact on long-term health. Eating high levels of the combination daily has been shown to dramatically weaken the effects of the key gene in the body, which is the big cause of heart disease, right? So it talks about how the more raw fruits and vegetables that you eat, this is from a McMaster University in Canada study, this is brand new, shows that it can like alters this certain gene, I forget the name of it, and dramatically reduces heart disease risk, right? And it's the 9p21 chromosome. And yeah, so this is brand new. So it says the more raw fruits and vegetables you eat, the less risk of heart disease you'll have. But then that's not good enough for people, because it's not a diet that shows 100% fruits and vegetables compared to some other thing. But you'll never have that study. You'll never have that. I mean, good luck having that study. Who's going to fund it?
Not even enough people eat that way.
The big issue that I find is you have some outcome data, and you have, a certain sample size and like a certain level of objectivity for how you came to that conclusion. Now, if you take that outcome data and you contrast it to something else that someone else is saying, like they're making a claim, like, raw meats has shown like these negative effects. It's like, okay, well, that actually doesn't address any of the points that I addressed. Like, I addressed how it lowers cholesterol. I addressed how it, can help, lower, I don't know, chance for heart disease. And these were the metrics that they looked at. Like, and then they go on to talk about like osteoporosis or something like this. It's like, well, sorry, but none of your studies actually address what I said. And like, based on this outcome data, it actually, disapproves what you're saying. So if like am like, I'm just telling you like what I'm convinced of. I am convinced of things as long as the data adds up in contrast to another piece of data. Like, I think one of the biggest issues, like even in politics or just like anywhere else, like in arguments, is that sometimes the questions being asked on both sides don't actually relate, or like neither side is really listening. So it's good to like kind of just look at the data, contrast it, and then see if like one side is better or worse. Like one side adds up or one side does not add up. And like if your study says, hey, like it's healthy, like yeah, okay, so like here's the metrics. It's clear that it's healthy based on these metrics. So like what is there to prove?
Yeah. So me and Dave, I think we like fully agree on the way that we've come to the same conclusion, and so as like a lot of other like people who eat raw food and fruitarians and stuff like that, is that the biggest study is to just use your brain and look at all the evidence that shows what has happened through adaptation and evolution, right? I mean, and to piece all that together and look at what humans ate, through their evolution, and then the majority of it being, fruits and leafy greens. I mean, how that's you don't need a bigger study than that. Like, and that is what forms what you should be eating, is what you've been eating. So there's no other, like, to me, there's no other argument against it. Like, it's the simplest thing, but yet people want to turn it into the most complex thing by being like, show me all these studies. Like, and I'm just over here going like, use your goddamn brain. You know what I mean? And
I totally agree. See, for me, it's kind of like
I have to dip out, guys.
Word,
guys.
You dip out?
But you could actually resend me the link. I'm gonna try to pull it up on my phone. It's not loading on my phone, unfortunately. So maybe it'll work. But yeah, no, I'll keep listening, and maybe I'll chip in at some point. But yeah, I will see you guys later.
All right,
cool.
man.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thanks for having me on, by the way.
No problem, man. Hey.
So I know we're probably gonna have to shut this off soon too. I just want to finish my thought.
I just remember like you guys were going on.
Logan.
I didn't want to like interrupt, so I was just like, like I want everyone to like, let Nick talk and
Yeah.
But yeah, does anyone want to say any final words before we end the discussion?
Yeah, Dave, if you just want to comment on what I just said there,
I just want to
Yeah,
I just want to finish that thought. So I completely agree. So for me, it's just like you take all the little things and experiences, and you just think critically, and you're just like, okay, how does this add up? It gets this result. This is our history. This is how this is, and you just take all the little things, and then you just come to your own conclusion, and that's what I came to. I don't need the whole thing about me though is I'm different than a lot of people though. I don't need a scientist to tell me this. It's like, again, like to me, it's common sense. It's just like, okay, this is how things add up, and I can look at this, and these don't have anything to do with each other, but I can connect them somehow by thinking critically, and then I come to my own conclusions. So with like fruit being good for you and stuff, I just think that I'm never going to need that study, and I just wish that people would think a little bit differently and just have an open mind and not need everything to be so like, that way, I guess. To me, it's just not as important if you can just have an open mind and think about things in a way that you can put the puzzle pieces together and it just makes sense,
Yeah.
So,
And you can find articles like the same type of thing where people have pieced together, like, I don't know if you've seen that Joe Dubs one, or there's a bunch of ones I've linked in like my description box in my videos where people went through the archaeology and the evolution and all these things, and just tons and tons of things of how your body works and everything, and just stacked the evidence on top. So it's just like undeniable to go through this thing and to be like, yeah, I mean, that's obviously what we should be eating. And to me, if people look at that and go, I still need to see a 50-year outcome-based, study. I mean, I feel sorry for you waiting for that study, because you're going to die before you get that, and just use common sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
That's it, guys.
That's it, man.
All right, guys.
I mean, I'd like to come back and do another one day because I think Dave wanted to talk about fasting and some other stuff. So if you're ever around again, Dave or Broski, maybe we'll come back to another one.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah,
this
dude,
time
I can
I'll
talk
get the
forever.
hosting
So,
right on time.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
Have a good night.
All right, guys.
all right, peace.
Peace. I just want to do a little quick thing. We are over 100 subs. So I will be doing a video probably sooner or later, depending on how much time I have. I will be doing a giveaway. So thank you guys for watching. And as always, guys, break your limits. Thank you.